What is up, guys, and welcome to another edition of Market Riders, beating the market one trade at a time. If you're new to Market Riders, investment channel helps you to find the best deals in the market. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you smash that thumbs up. Definitely helps the YouTube algorithm. All right, so let's jump into my watch list for penny stocks for the week. Hope everybody had a good week of trading. Very interesting week with the debate going on, getting closer and closer to the election. So let's jump into these penny stocks. So first on the list, we got ticker sign ZDGE, and that is for Zedge. Their moving average 10 is $2.28. Moving average 50 is $1.72, and the moving average 100 is $1.59. So since the market is still open today, they are currently at $2.37 at the time of this video. So just make sure you go double check the price when you watch the video. So if we see they are bullish, denoted by this moving average 10 line being above the moving average 50 and the moving average 100 line. So pretty good metric as far as that's concerned. But let's jump into some background information, which is what I like to do. I don't believe just reading charts is the best way to determine if this is a good stock to invest in. So I like to give background information on the stock to see whether you can make a better informed decision. So when it comes to investing, the more due diligence you do, the more reward you get is in finding a good company to invest in and get a better return on your investment. So with that being said, go to some background information on them. It's a pretty recent article, came out the 22nd, but it says they announced they had a 39.2% increase of revenue, an EPS of 0.04. And then they had a 277% increase in paid subscribers for the fourth quarter 2020. So that is a very good metric. 277% is a very big increase compared to wherever a company was beforehand. So the revenue increase of 39.2% to 2.7 million versus 2 million last year. Paid subscription revenue increase of 378%, 2.6 million versus the 0.1 million last year. Then they have the paid subscribers increased 277% from last year and 26.3% for the third quarter. More than 40% of annual subscribers renewed their subscription. So almost half of the people that had subscriptions renewed. So that is a very good metric as well. Operating income was 0.4 versus the operating income of negative 0.9 last year. Net income was 0.5 million versus the net loss of 1.2 billion last year. So they are decreasing their burn rate and increasing their income. So that is also a fantastic measure. Diluted earnings per share was 0.4 versus the loss per share of 0.12 compared. And then we have MAU, which is monthly active users, decreased by 5.6% versus last year, decrease of 10.8% for the third quarter. So they got more users, less people left the actual service themselves. So pretty good metric for the company, and that's why I have them on my list. Financials to me is one of the number one metrics to check out for a company to see how it is performing. Contrary to what people believe, some people think, just the articles themselves about companies giving updates. But for me, the number one metric for a company that's not a pharmaceutical company, because those operate a lot differently, is going to be their financial earnings, because that's going to be their basis for how the company is doing and how the company is performing overall. So it's basically like their report card for the company is one way you can look at it. So going to the next one, we're going to have OPK, and that is for Opko Health. So let's jump into them. Now this is from the perspective of Webull. So Webull is a trading brokerage where you can, if you sign up using $100 or more, or deposit $100 or more, you can get 2 free shares. And I have a link down below, the affiliate link, where you can sign up using that link. So if you want to go and use Webull, you can use Webull by itself. You don't have to sign up. But if you want to actively trade stocks, then you'd have to sign up for it. You can use these charts and pick the same information up without being logged in. So it's pretty good. You have access to these charts. But if you want to sign up and start your trading journey, then that link is down below. So Opko Health, their moving average 10 is $4.27. Moving average 50 is $4.29, and the moving average 100 is $4.29 as well. So if we look, they are bullish, denoted by this moving average 10 line being below the moving average 50 and 100, which are this yellow and purple line. It looks like the market's still open, so they're currently going down just a little bit. VWAP is pretty low as well, which is this lime green line. So it seems like a lot of people are selling off, and volume is not as high as it once was. So probably going to be looking for that on Monday to see if that's going to be an early morning mover in the opposite direction, because I think Opko Health has a lot of things going on for them. So going into some background information on them. This article came out the 20th. Opko Health's BioReference Laboratory launches multiplex pandemic and influenza A/B test. So health company OPK is now accepting specimens for their multiplex pandemic and influenza test for use to healthcare providers, clinics and health systems throughout the United States to aid the diagnosis of pandemic as well as influenza A and B. Differentiating pandemic and influenza A and B is especially important as symptoms of the seasonal respiratory infections can be similar. So one thing I like about this company is they did all the testing for the NBA. So during the NBA season, they actually had a contract to do all the testing. So all those people who got tested went through this company or used this company's products. So it seems like the company itself is starting to improve their testing capabilities. And as you know, the cases have continued to grow or continued to spike from the pandemic. So I think testing is not going anywhere, especially if this company already did it with the NBA season this year and expanded to a couple of other sports franchises. I think that they have a pretty good track record with that. I think they're going to continue to grow that into the future. So I think, with them doing the NBA shows that their tests are valid. NBA was okay with it with their contract that they had. Testing, I think, will continue to be a thing even with next season. So definitely think that this company has a lot of potential to grow, especially if they're developing new forms of test and improving the product that they already make. So that's why I have them on the list for next week. The next one we're going to look at is ticker sign SCKT, and that is for Socket Mobile. Let's add them to the watch list. If we look at them, we can see that they had a pretty big run up on the 22nd, but it's kind of come down just a little bit. VWAP is still up pretty high, but as far as the other metrics, they're still coming down just a little bit. So if we look at their moving average 10 is $2.76, moving average 50 is $1.86, and the moving average 100 is $1.61. Today they're at around 250, 251 range. They're fluctuating because the market is open. So double check that once the market is closed, and Monday morning when the market reopens. So going into some background information on them. On the 23rd, they have released their earnings. So on here we have they went up 76% on Q3 jump in profitability. And then it says on here they went up 76% Q3. And their total revenue fell 17.5% year over year to $4.1 million. And they reported net income of $0.424 million compared to the $94K in Q3. Gross margins were 55.3% versus the 52.9%. And operating expenses decreased 27.7% to $1.8 million. So the reason I had them on here is because I think their earnings was overall pretty good. They decreased their burn rate, which is basically the amount of money that they spend per year or per quarter, and they increased the amount of money that they were making. So I think overall, this is a company that you should look at in the future. I will be having my eyes on this company to see further developments from them. They make a very interesting product. It's like a scanner, barcode scanner, like you'll see in the grocery stores, but they do NFC, other barcodes and stuff like that nature. Also, they have a couple of products that Amazon uses as well. So not a small company by any means, but I think a technology that's going to be here to stay, especially with the growth of NFC and other scanning capable, compatible devices. So going into the last one that I have on here, it's going to be ticker sign AIM, and that is for AIM Immunotech. So if we look at them, they are beginning to curl up at the time of this video, which is also good, pretty good metric. So their moving average 10 is $2.09, moving average 50 is $2.13, and the moving average 100 is $2.22. They have ended the day at $2.11 because the market just closed. If we look right here, at the time of this video, so they closed at 211. But they are still bearish, denoted by this moving average 10 line being below the moving average 50 and the moving average 100, which are the purple and yellow lines. So I would say they're still still bearish, but have potential to be bullish, considering the fact that they start to curl up and there seem to be some increase in volume as the day wrapped up. So the increase in volume is denoted by this VWAP right here, which has gone above the moving average 10 line. So hopefully there'll be an early morning mover on Monday, so I'll definitely keep my eyes out on them. But as far as background information on them, it says on here that they're launching a long haulers in the AMP-511 ME/CFS clinical trial for Ampligen. And then this is for patients who still have symptoms after they have had or been diagnosed with the pandemic. So they're treating for PCCF, which is post-pandemic chronic fatigue. I know it's not PP, but on YouTube we can't really say this word or we get demonetized, so I replaced the word with pandemic. But we see on here this is what it stands for. Basically, they're saying some people still have symptoms after they have been diagnosed. So they're making this AMP-511 that is helping to ease some of the symptoms or some of the fatigue that is faced with people who still have been diagnosed. So it seems like a therapeutic sort of treatment, but something that I think can catch on in the future, and something that I think will be, go hand in hand with the vaccine whenever that is released. So that's why I have them on my radar. I think, the product seems to be pretty legit, and is also, I think, potentially backed by the FDA. So it says AIM is currently preparing the IRB approved protocol for submission to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. So they're basically preparing to submit it for approval for the FDA. So once this gets approved, or if it gets approved, I definitely see the stock shooting up quite a bit, especially being something around this pandemic sort of niche. So that's the list for this week. Also, remember, we have earnings coming up, so make sure you check out my options trading watch list. That's going to be posted this weekend as well. But good luck to everybody trading out there. Hope everybody's able to lock in profits, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.